Jeffrey,
Good to see you again.
have still mask.
Oh,
Was
sorry
it
about
from the yesterday?
Sorry about that. It's actually my rubber band.
So,
Anyway.
how you been?
Staying alive, creating varnish and colors for my new violin, which I'm making, which will be worth millions of dollars about 200 years after I die.
Just 200 or maybe 2 centuries. 20 centuries. Okay, so what's going on?
2 centuries is 200 years.
Yes, I mean 20 centuries.
Yeah, at that point it'll be dust like us. So, anyway, it's good to see you. So a lot has happened over the last probably 2 hours. With Trump, it could be 2 minutes. Something crazy happened. Anyhow, so we have a lot to discuss in terms of the economy, in terms of the virus, in terms of everything, in terms of what we will look like fiscally in the next 20 minutes. So, how have been things with you?
I was driving to you, and it's traffic. It's like traffic everywhere. So I'm not sure. Like, do we have any pandemic is going on, or just people pandemic to go to work, but not pandemic to just go around?
Well, I drove down the beach coming here, and I will say that when I looked at Dockweiler Beach, there are a lot of people on the beach, and they seem to be social distancing. There's 20 people here, and there's 30 people here, and there's
Yeah, lots of distance.
And the only person with a mask was wearing a dive mask.
So you know she's a diver, right?
Yeah. So,
Jeffrey, just tell people what do you think about news, something new like going on with the Congress.
All right. Well, needless to say, I believe that the Republicans are little by little doing one dumb thing after another. The Democrats at least came out with their prospectus to try to get us through this pandemic 3 months ago, and as usual was sitting on Mitch McConnell's kitchen floor, and it never gets voted on. I mean, for me, this is why we are in the situation where, he shouldn't do it. Put it in front of the Congress. It gets voted up or it gets voted down, but it gets voted on. For one person to control the entire economy and the entire world because of his idiotic personal preferences, it's ridiculous. He's completely sponsored by the National Rifle Association, the NRA, which is about to be disbanded in New York because they're totally corrupt.
What's new?
Yeah, but now did you hear what's going on? The heads of the NRA have been raping this thing for every single penny, taking huge vacations on super yachts and things like that, and basically stealing all the NRA money. And these are the people that keep Mitch McConnell in office. And then Trump is desperate because he just lost now the New York. The New York grand jury is about to get all his financial records from Deutsche Bank. The Congress is about to get all his financial records, including his tax returns. So if he doesn't stay president, he'll probably wind up in jail. So he'll do everything possible.
I want to have a question, ask a question. What people will do with his income taxes? Just enlighten me. There will be like let me just tell you what's going on in income taxes, right? You have Schedule 1040, this main form, and with Trump potentially he's got maybe 30, 100, 200 LLCs. So what are you gonna do with that?
It's all about money laundering.
How can you see money laundering in income tax returns?
Well, actually,
but hold on. You have to go to LLC. LLC has partners. Partners would say like, "What's going on?" It just like
normally, but Trump is not normal. Trump does everything under his own name. There are no partners.
I don't think so, but whether like maybe yes, maybe not. But you have to go if it's no. You don't do like business like as a single person LLC. He always would have like his family or somebody else, and it's hard on a hunch from the IRS or the Congress.
They're gonna need a particularly large jail cell.
yeah. To go and just like, no, we will audit your LLC. Why? they might have like some kind of
Yeah, but in this case, I don't agree, because in this case, what they're going after is the Trump organization, which is just, you have to realize Trump's company is basically a very, very small company.
yeah.
There's not a
It's
lot
different,
of people working.
but it's different. Why would they go for his personal income tax if they need to go?
No, it's not the personal. It's
Right,
partly
right.
the personal, but it's mainly the business.
No, but if the Congress went to court to get his personal income tax to be released, why wouldn't they go just directly for the corporate income
No,
tax?
because they go for tax evasion.
Tax evasion, like he's got that corporation as C corporation has no attachment to his personal income tax. So like either they go for his personal dealings.
Yeah, but it's going to be all of that. The other thing is that
It will be.
yeah, but
like,
it's like anything else. Where the fraud is when you go for a bank loan and you totally inflate your earnings to be able to get a bank loan, and yet when you pay your taxes, you completely give a whole
different.
nother number.
Yeah.
That's illegal. That's what you go to jail for, and that's where they got him.
Yeah, that's okay, but that's I agree. But
It's money laundering.
Right,
It's money
right.
laundering and tax evasion.
but again, there will nothing be there like on the personal income taxes. There's nothing there. So like
We'll see. I have a feeling that between the corporate taxes and the personal income taxes, they're going to find so much stuff on this guy. But as long as he's president, they can't touch him. And that's why if every show you listen to, every columnist is talking about, he is desperate to keep this job for 4 more years. Because if he can't keep this job, then the whole world is going to come caving in on him, as soon as he's out of office.
they can only get him like on one thing, which is right on everybody's spot on 1040. But people don't understand taxation in nowadays. Like I was watching CNN maybe 5 months ago, and they were like examining like in front of everybody on CNN his income taxes, and people have no clue. They're expert, they're CPAs and stuff, but they don't understand where to look and what to look for, because I don't know why, but I think I know what to do, but it's not going to be for free.
Okay, and enough of that, because we can spend hours on this.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that. Our biggest headache right now, of course, is this pandemic, and this pandemic is becoming totally out of control. My own opinion, I think that Trump and the Republicans and everything say should all be indicted for second-degree murder. Because if they would have done even the basic minimum intelligent thing to do right from the beginning, in late February, March, and just say everybody wear a mask, everybody, so close down everything for 2 or 3 weeks at the beginning, then at least another 100,000 people would still be alive today.
And with that, like Biden was talking about, he said, listen, I knew that something like that would happen. I told at the beginning. So if you know that murder is about to happen, and you being quiet and you didn't do anything about that, just not being quiet, he said something. But why didn't the Democrat pushed for?
They did. They did more than that. They did. This is why we're in this situation. Not only did they warn, the only one, the president normally leaves a letter for the new president coming in, and President Obama, the most important thing he said, there is going to be a pandemic disaster, and had a whole organization of the top experts to control this. They used this organization. They were brilliant to be able to stop the SARS outbreak and things like that. What did Trump do as soon as he took office?
Yeah,
he fired everybody,
yeah,
and anything that Obama or Biden or anybody else said didn't mean anything, because Trump said that, it's all going to go away in the spring by itself.
And that's goes to the core of everything what is going on. If Democrats want to make a point, they have to go day after day after day with that point.
They did, but McConnell threw it on the floor. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. The only thing they care about is getting the schmuck reelected. And that's it. As long as Trump gets reelected, and then, but you can only You can only tell so many lies and so much nonsense every single day. Every single day, there's another scandal. There's another nonsense. Now, what does he do? Now they put a bill in front of Congress, in front of the Senate. And so, what does Trump throw in this bill? He throws in, I want $1.8 billion to build the FBI headquarters next to my hotel, so that nobody else can build a hotel on that street. And that's holding up the bill. Because
not just that.
everybody else has to give up
No.
$600, but he gets $1.8 billion.
Okay, so point like in $600, have many clients, and they have employees, and they cannot get that employees to work for them. Why? Because they would get more money. It's not just $600. It's more. It's about $750. They will get more money sitting at home than going to work for them.
I agree, and I would say that's maybe 7% of the people will think that way, and the rest of the people will actually prefer to get a job, because nobody wants to sit home with their kids, and nobody.
Jeff, can I just like disagree? You get $3,000 sitting at home with your kids, rather just going every day to work at the restaurant to do stuff.
You're assuming that almost.
I'm not assuming.
No,
I know
wait,
that.
no, but you're assuming that almost everybody who's on unemployment is on minimum wage.
No, I'm talking about directly my clients, and they complain they cannot, like there is one restaurant, big restaurant, they cannot get the people, several other in construction, and I wasn't ready to talk about that, but so many clients, they complain they cannot get people to work for them, because even though, like for example, you get $5,000 working for somebody, right? After the deductions, taxes, you will get the same $3,000, but you have to work for that.
But you have to pay taxes on unemployment too. No?
Yeah, but not the Social Security, other tax like Medicare tax. So you will get like after $5,000 you will get less, and you get 3,000 plus.
Okay, I understand.
So you better sit at home and do stuff.
I understand the point.
Or work for cash.
I understand the point, but I still believe that that's a minority of the people that think that way. And as a minority of the people that take advantage of that. And almost any system you come up with, no matter how safe and how good it is, there's always going to be people who will try to take advantage of every system. That's just human nature, especially in this country. However, what I do know is that, fine, they're getting an extra $600. Where is that $600 being spent? It's being spent in restaurants. It's being spent in department stores. It's being spent in supermarkets. It's being spent for daycare. It's being spent for rent, and all that. It actually is keeping the economy going, and all of this brings in tax money.
A little bit disagree. It's not spent like properly, because recessions, this is like it's a recession right now, and recession in capitalistic world is important, because it rinse from all bad business, all not sustainable. But we're keeping with this like pandemic, we're keeping the businesses which should be begun value, like we went like to Chipotle's, right? Chipotle is a good business. You can do it online, you can do it inside, outside, good food. But there are many restaurants, they cannot, they barely were making before pandemic. Now they would get money, extra money for just staying when they're not valuable.
Okay, but what happens now when the people do not get this help from the government or things like that, whether it's $400 that Trump wants now or $600? In the meantime, everybody's evicted for your home.
Not everybody.
We're in the middle.
Not everybody.
We're 30 million people
I got you a solution.
Are on the edge
Okay.
of eviction, and if they're on the street, the virus is totally out of control. We're all screwed.
But look, you, like again, we've talked last time, government created the drug. Government became a drug dealer. The government gives people drugs People get one time, one shot, like it. Second shot, they like it more. And after they cannot get off the drugs. Money, free money is a drug.
So where can I get some?
Yes, yes, and that's a problem. But instead, what government could do, so much is going on that they can set up like pandemic network to build the services for wherever services needed for
You're right, but it'll never happen. Why? Because Trump says there is no pandemic.
right.
And why? Because the federal government, based on Trump, no masks, nothing. Right now, there's
Jeffrey,
a big party going on in one of the
Jeffrey,
states. 250,000 people.
Everything what I hear is Trump is guilty, Mitch McConnell is idiot, he's guilty. Where are the Democrats going? Like, hey,
They're not in power.
because they come in with the 600 with the drug money.
That's not true.
This is true.
But right now, Trump just went on today. He is signing an executive order that he's going to give everybody 400.
At least thank you so much, Mr. Trump.
Yeah, but there is no choice because we do not live in normal times.
But at least you make it as much so people will survive, but they will not get off the work to take them free money and drugs, like money equal drugs.
I think, again, the most important thing is that if you cannot get control of the virus, that's the round robin you're stuck with.
Again, virus or not, before the virus, we never get.
There is no such thing as before the virus anymore. It's gone. We cannot move the clock back one day. Today, what is it that they say? The 1,200 people died yesterday. 1,200 people died yesterday because of the virus. Some places are getting really bad. California is one of the worst places now, and it was one of the best.
Yeah, because
the
people
one
got
place
there-
that's doing well is New York, and New York is about to hit the bottom because they're opening the schools. And once they open the schools, the virus will go right through the roof, just like it did in every place that did
Jeffrey,
this.
people are tired to be scared and sit at home.
Well, then they're going to die.
That's people's choice.
Yeah, that's right. But people don't want that choice. If the if the federal government would do one thing correctly, but it's not possible because we've got an illiterate person as president.
Jeff,
so it'll never happen.
The problem, like, why did we elect that illiterate president?
From sheer stupidity.
Yeah, but again, you see, that's a point. That's where my book is coming. Like, you have to educate yourself, so next time you don't elect an idiot. That's it. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Okay, so based on the book,
Based on the book, and now this book was written pre-coronavirus. of course.
So now, based on the book and the fact that we are now in an enormously difficult situation because the virus is out of control. In spite of what Trump would have you believe, he doesn't do anything. If the guy would at least put a mask on all the time and have people around him with a mask and try to tell
no
people,
discipline.
well, and try to tell people, do this, we might get out of this mess. He does just the opposite. Why? It makes no sense. If he wants to become president again, just do the minimally right things. He's incapable of doing that. Because of that, we're all going to die. And the only thing that's interesting is that the people who are going to die first, I'm happy to say, are mostly his voters, because those are the people who are not wearing the mask. Those are the people who are congregating in crowds of people, and those are the people that believe everything Trump says.
We cannot. Thank you. We cannot just blame people who elect Trump because they believed in the guy who just talked nicely. He doesn't walk the walk.
Nicely? Did this guy ever say a nice word out of his mouth?
It's to you, but sometimes talking roughly or negatively, it feels good for some people because they feel that he talks with a conviction and with knowledge, so they trust him.
That's it. But those days are over. Now everybody, even the people on his side, believe the one thing he doesn't talk with is knowledge.
Let's put a dot on this.
You have to be able to read.
Hold on. Let's just like put a period wherever it is. because I'm tired talking about Trump. Trump is nobody. He's a president, but he's a talking head. There's nothing else. There is no big kind of vision. There is no foreign policy. There is no fiscal responsibility. There is no working with the state with the coronavirus. There is no management, long-term management.
You know, I watched a documentary yesterday, and the most interesting thing about this was the people who were talking. He says the one position that exists in the United States that you don't need to have any knowledge, that you don't need to have any experience, that you don't have to be well read or know anything about to become to attain this position is the position of president. You don't have to know anything about science. You don't have to know anything about government. You just have to be able to sell yourself on television. It's amazing. So actually, you can have a very, very incompetent, stupid person in the position of president. You know, before we had Obama, the very intelligent man who knew everything about government.
Can
like,
I just
wait? No, who knew everything about government. You can disagree about some of his policies and things like that, but he was smart and intelligent, and we managed to go 8 years without a major scandal. We can't go 20 minutes without a scandal now. Every single thing Trump tries to do winds up in a lawsuit in court.
Yeah, just Obama. It's like for you, maybe he's intelligent. I like his personality. I like his family as his family member. I like his personal life. He's a model, role model. But as a president, he didn't do many things that should be done, and he was also like dividing the country. He would as example, he always would say like, they told this about me, but I say this. Who said about him? And he just twisting the and dividing.
I don't agree, because first of all, he took over the country when we were in the middle
recession,
of a huge recession, and got us out of it.
No, he didn't get out.
How do we get out?
Because we are a capitalistic country. We had a recession. This is American people who got us out, not Obama. Obama, what did he do? What did he do?
Well, he bailed out. He bailed out.
He didn't bail.
He bailed out the auto industry, certain industries, and things like that.
Let me explain. No, it didn't work.
And they paid back the loans that they got in many cases.
Of course, because there wasn't any liquidity, so the government was as a conduit, like gave the liquidity, so they went through the recession. So whoever
the Republicans would have let everybody go bankrupt.
But that's fine, and I will tell you why. Because bankrupt, it doesn't mean bad. It could be bankruptcy subchapter 11, where like General Motors could be like either, because it would be easy for General Motors to get rid of unions, because unions control General Motors, if you know that, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why like General Motors is not competitive enough, because unions drives up the price, so they cannot do like much with their product because of the unions.
But
as an example,
the other side of the coin is, without the unions, the only people who would have any profit in the company at all are the executives, and everybody who actually works and actually makes the cars would be totally screwed.
In my book, I say how you can control the Wall Street. Just like read the book, because this is a little problem. We talked about Obama, who did something incredible, saved us from the catastrophe, and I disagree, and I gave you like my view about that. But what executive can do or not do, like it has nothing to do with Obama.
Well, but a lot of what you say is important. Like what the executive can do that's bad. For instance, the first thing that Trump wanted to do from the beginning was kill Obamacare. Now, we all have complaints about Obamacare. Certain aspects of it work, some aspects of it don't work. That's because that plan, in my opinion, was made into law before it was really finished. So what's Trump doing today? Right now, passing an executive order that everybody will still be able to have health care and still have pre-existing conditions, which is basically the main idea of Obamacare. So he wants to get rid of Obamacare, which he's trying to do in the courts right now, and then he's suggesting doing everything that Obamacare has.
Yeah, the same thing with NAFTA. Like he did the same agreement that Republicans were like century ago, like against it. Trump did the same agreement, improved it, and now Republicans are happy about astonishing agreement where like what we bargained for an increase for 40% in the sales for agricultural in agricultural industry, which we are subsidizing. So basically we subsidize agriculture and then we sell to Canada. It doesn't make sense.
There's so many things. The main thing now is that we're in a world situation, and it's not just the United States. I was watching your favorite program, the Bill Maher show, yesterday, and of course Bill Maher had some amazing guests on, and we're convinced that to be able to remain president for the next 4 years, we may be close to a civil war in November. Because this guy, is perfectly capable of sending the military out so that he can't leave the White House. I believe that's what Maher says, and they had.
If Maher says like
they had some brilliant generals and people like that saying, well, how do we stop that? Because that unless Biden beats Trump by an enormous landslide, if it's even a difference of 20%, he's going to contest the whole election, and he's going to make this drag out. He's going to do everything possible.
Complete BS.
No, it's actually this is what's being
because
discussed.
Bill Maher said. Or?
No, this is on every single talk site around the world, and he's capable of doing this. He's doing it now. Now here's what happened. Even more, the Chinese don't want him. The Chinese have decided we don't want Trump in the White House.
Because
the Russians couldn't get a bigger gift than Trump.
Yeah, because
anything the Russia wants, Trump gives them. Why?
No.
I'll be interested to find out whether that PP tape really does exist.
No, there is no tapes. Russia wants him because he is not stupid. Trump is not stupid. Like you sitting here in a boat, I'm sitting here, he's sitting in White House. So how the guy who is stupid sitting in the White House?
I sat in the White House for 4 years.
I apologize. So only me. But the point, Russia needs our like craziness, instability. Trump brings instability in the whole world, in the country inside, and Russia likes it because they take possessions.
They're taking. Right now we are the most disrespected country in the world, and that's because of Trump.
Not just about that.
I mean, everybody knows that. You want something for Trump, kiss him or say something nice about him, he'll give you the world.
No, but it's not just about that. It's about that there is no policy, there is no foreign policy. Trump can come up today and say like, hey, I agree with you. Tomorrow he will say, no, I disagree. So nobody wants to work with us because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
And then the second bad thing is that he's decimated the State Department. He's decimated he's decimated the Department of Education. He's decimated Commerce. He's decimated everything. He's got the most incompetent people in the world in secretary positions. And the biggest catastrophe in the history of America, of course, is the Attorney General. Bill Barr is going to destroy this country
Jeffrey,
for generations.
Let me just ask you, like, why are we talking about Trump and Trump and Trump?
Because he's in control.
Right. So who is the person who knows the blueprints for America?
He's out of control.
He's out of control. I appreciate that. But who is today has the blueprints for the country? Who says like, listen, forget about Trump, forget about like short talks and blah blah blah. This is my plan. This is how we fix this. How fix this. This is how we're gonna work as a country. Nobody has that plan.
But how do you get your ideas to the people that can actually make them happen. Because just having a book
Yeah, but
and just having an idea,
Jeffrey,
if nobody knows about it, that's
yeah,
a
but
problem.
Jeffrey, nobody will not read honestly. I need like such a big campaign because in the book I'm going industry to industry and explain how to fix it, how to make sense of illegal immigration, how to make sense of rising healthcare costs, and I talked even like to some of the running to president candidates, and I gave the book to one hand to hand, and I said like read the book, and she didn't read the book. How like, and it's not like, no, of course I understand like why would she know
I can understand. Well, you can't give it to Trump. He can't read.
yeah. But the point is like in my book I'm talking about general ideas. I'm talking about the vision. And what you're talking about right now, Trump did this, Biden did this, Barr did. This is a kitchen talk. This is
Well,
kitchen.
Biden right now hasn't done anything. He has no power.
He doesn't, he doesn't have a program. He doesn't have how tight.
Not true. Not true.
What program?
Not true. You have to read. Look, you have to read some of his ideas. Plus, we have to see who's
Some of the.
We have
ideas.
to see. Yeah, but nobody who's running for president has tons of ideas, of which maybe 3% of them actually get enacted
If
when they become president.
Right.
Right now, it's all going to depend on who is running the country. The first thing Biden has to do, the most important thing that Biden has to do, in my opinion, is rebuild the government. We need to have a State Department that works.
With that.
We need to have a Commerce Department that works. We need to have a Department of Energy that works. We need to have a military that makes sense in today. No one's going to, the military of the future is not going to happen with bombs.
Exactly.
It's going to happen with AI.
You read my book, right? So the point,
chapters that matter.
yeah, but Jeffrey, that's where I give Obama a big credit. He and having Hillary Clinton, he's got that cabinet, he's got all that ideas. I disagree with many of them, the most important of them, but he's got the government working in the right way or not, but it's been a working government. They built coalition, they had people around the world, countries around the world. Now it's all angry conversations, angry not So we have to get rid of all of this. With Trump we can get rid of this. I don't believe that Trump, not re-elected, defeated. He will be re-elected because because Biden. No, it's easy. Biden is talking little. He's biting little by little. He doesn't talk big. Obama talked big. Obama talked big. You understand?
But Biden's doing all the right thing. He's letting Trump sink
It doesn't
himself.
matter. You have to talk big. He is not.
I don't agree. In normal, yeah. If you're talking about in a normal world, yes. But I think that
he has to excite
the
people.
whole election is going to be based on COVID-19, and if Trump continues sinking, if people keep dying, and if people keep find their lives just falling down the tubes because of Trump doesn't have a chance. And I do believe that Trump doesn't have a chance. And Biden, when it's time for him to come out blasting, which is too early right now, I think he has to wait until the debates, and then until after the convention, until after he's chosen a vice president. Then Biden has to come out strong.
Biden doesn't know how to come up strong. His only lines like Barack and I.
That's not true anymore. I don't agree. I don't. I know that was a nice conversation a week ago, but no, I don't agree because right now,
But he's offering little things. He doesn't.
No, he's offering all the right ways to solve this pandemic.
What he's offering?
No,
where's the pandemic fight?
To make the whole country follow the recommendations of science. And he comes on and talks about that all the time.
What are the recommendations?
Everything. Just listen to what Fauci says. Listen to what all these people say. Also,
Can I tell you how, if I would be Biden for any freaking reason. I don't want to be a part of Biden. But if I will be in a position of Biden, I would go like to each governor, each state, and talk about his vision about coronavirus, and assure people do this, and bring with him like those scientists, and say, listen, as a president, I would like to work with you, California, New York,
But
Oklahoma.
Biden does that now. The difference is that nothing happens without money. You know, in other words, to get things done, there has to be money behind it. There are so many organizations that are trying to control the government and try to make things work in their image.
Hold on,
tons
please,
of money behind
please,
it.
Jeffrey, we've talked about how Biden can position himself to the conversation to be a leader. I just told you, how can he be a leader? Just going out there, work with the grassroots, work with the governments of the states, getting people.
You can, but he's not president yet.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it does matter. You can't.
Why not?
Because you can't do that just in general. Why? Because there's a pandemic going on. You cannot be out among people. You cannot be doing lectures in front of people.
Gotcha. So basically, Biden cannot do anything, but Trump must do something.
Trump can't do anything either. But he has the advantage of having the bully pulpit and be able to make his stupid, ludicrous press conferences every day. And all Biden really has to do is just let Trump talk.
Okay, and that's how you draw the line. I see Biden has nothing to offer to the country if he doesn't put himself, find the way to position, like to meet people. He doesn't have to meet all of the people. He can just meet with the governor of California, meet with the key states.
I agree, but it's still too early.
No. Are we talking about?
No, I'm talking about right now.
Can I ask you one?
Right now, he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to let Trump think.
The problem that you're talking about is politics. I'm talking about the real thing, that not just politics, but real thing that a person does for the country. He needs to unite the country. If there is a time always to deal to.
Okay, I understand, but how come that only applies to Biden and it doesn't apply to Trump? Trump can basically say any stupid nonsense that he wants to. He can say any cartoon-like thing, and yet if Biden has to do this, has to do this. Trump can say any nonsense he wants, and he's going to get reelected for that.
Yes,
bullshit.
Right, and that's why like to beat Trump, and I told you many times. To beat Trump, you have to beat on the issue, on the example, how the president must be. And the president must be by example.
Well, already Biden is a much greater example of acting like a president.
I don't see it.
So you think Trump is acting like a president?
I don't want to talk about Trump.
But the point is, that's who we have to beat. You have to talk about Trump, whether you like it or not. But Biden is 1,000 times more presidential, has more empathy, much nicer personality, everything. He's a person who I believe can bring the world together. Trump is going to alienate everybody for the rest of his life unless he can make a profit.
My point, I will vote for Biden.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But
get yourself out of that one.
Yeah, but Biden doesn't show anything. I will vote just against Trump. But Biden doesn't excite me. He doesn't have anything. There is nothing going on that he.
Okay, I don't honestly. I don't want excitement. I want competence. That's what I care about.
Excitement.
I don't care about excitement.
But hold on.
You know, this the kind of excitement we've had for almost 4 years is the kind of excitement that causes heart attacks.
I apologize. I didn't mean that excitement on as a TV excitement. I mean the guy walks talk like to people, unite the country, goes one place to another, says what he believes in, how to fix the economy, how to fix COVID-19, where's the mask, asking like, hey, this is like, let's hold on, let's put on he goes to California and he talks to the governor and says like, listen, what do you guys do? And the governor says, listen, I cannot do anything. And he says, listen, I met with the governor of Oklahoma, for example, and this guy does this and this. Why don't we do this for California? Wouldn't you try that? Let's put everybody on the same page, state by state.
I agree, but you have to be in a position to be able to demand that.
Not demand, suggest.
No, but everyone's suggesting that. Every single guy on television suggesting the right stuff.
This is different. He is the potentially next president. He must go and listen. When Trump was like nominee from Republican Party, he was meeting with the presidents of Mexico, other presidents. He wasn't even a president yet, but he was meeting with president of Mexico.
Yeah, making deals with them that he had no right to do, that he should have been arrested for.
Okay, not deals, but he was again.
Yeah, but the difference is anything Trump says is totally for his political interest.
Again,
he never makes a suggestion that's ever in the interest of the country. He never makes a suggestion that's ever in the interest of real people. The only thing Trump cares about, the only thing he makes a suggestion for at all, is for his own particular wallet to make it bigger. He doesn't give a damn how many people, as long as every rich person in the United States gets richer.
That's why you have to have a president like nominee like Biden, who has to show an example how things must be done. And if he doesn't lead,
but he cannot show an example because he's not the leader yet. But the minute he is leader, then he has to come up and show everything.
Okay.
You know,
so
you cannot lead in this country if you have no power. Right now, the first thing for me, the first thing that has to happen is that the Republican Party has to die a sweet and convenient and permanent death.
Oh, please. Like Martin Luther King wasn't the president of the country, and he was making a movement, and he was leading with the movement. You don't have to be a president of the country to lead country to something.
Okay, so we'll just let Trump stay there, and then our new flag will be the Confederate.
Will
be the Confederate flag. Every black person will be in a cage on the border of Mexico.
Hold on. This is again. We're talking about Trump. I'm talking about a leader, how the leader must act. A leader has to have a plan. In my book, I have a better plan for the country.
But your book is not universal.
Why not?
That's the question.
Yeah, but that's a point. Trump, like Biden, has an idea. Like he says, like, oh, we have to just move the taxes up. Oh, we have to just put down that like ban on.
So listen, Bill Maher, my friend Bill Maher. Wait a second. I've been when you had Politically Incorrect. I was in your audience 3 times, and I've been a fan of yours for years. We met a number of times. I forgot the hotel, but anyway, no. What's the hotel on in Hollywood? It's not far. Not far. No, he goes there all the time. But anyway,
$50 a night.
But the thing is that, you know, if we could get Bill to get you on his show, you know, to discuss this book and get a copy to Bill Maher, is it possible? Let me ask you this: can you send a copy of this book to the Bill Maher show?
Yeah,
I would do it.
I will send it.
That will do it because he I believe will read it.
I agree.
I believe he will read it, and I believe he would have a great conversation with you.
Yeah, because I think Bill Maher, he's one of the not just smart person. He's kind of real person. He digs. He understands. He might be delusional, but when he goes through this, he can agree. He can come back and agree. That's most important. Like to understand. I wasn't right. This is a good idea. and not everybody like on the radio, in the cable news or shows, they have no ability to kind of come back to themselves and say like, oh, I was wrong. Maybe this is a bad.
Hey, Sasha, I'm back. Yeah,
Jeffrey.
we are recording. We have 15 minutes left on our tape here, so we can continue. So we ended with Bill Maher, so we know what to do there. So what else should really be spoken about today?
I think like we need like because all conversation must be stopped like at the point President Trump, because this is a trap for everybody. Just trust me, because we have so many problems, and if we just concentrate on the big picture, not even paying attention what he said anymore, because this is a trap, because people fact checking and stuff, and it creates the popularity. When you right or wrong, it's 50-50.
Yeah, but they do that with all the candidates.
Right, but it's not about that. I just, as a part, we're always talking about what Trump did, what he didn't do. I say, stop talking about that. Listen,
okay,
please.
The only thing I will say is, but don't forget, everything Trump does or doesn't do affects all. But right now, today, he seems to have finally done something which it may not be the best thing in the world for the economy, but it's absolutely necessary for the United States now, because people are desperate, and rich people are not desperate. Rich people can ride this pandemic out if it takes years, but the average person who makes these people rich need help. And the companies are not going to help them. The companies will always try to screw everybody below them. So the government has to come in, if you call it socialism or something like that. Sadly, we need some socialist help right now to get us through to the next state. And the company will always balance out, I believe. That's the good thing about capitalism. They will figure out a way to make this country work. After every major recession, the country recovered one way or another. It'll happen again now too.
I disagree.
Someone else is new?
Yeah, because like you cannot fix capitalistic society with the socialistic methods, and what you needed to do is develop the tools and the know-how how to deal with the pandemic or other financial disasters in a capitalistic way, so the government doesn't print money, and that's what we've talked about before.
Yeah, I just don't under the circumstances
today
I don't see there is no other way out. But what happens after November, they have to come out with a system that works, otherwise we're all screwed.
There is you have to come up now. You see, there is no, like coming back like to political milestones. I don't care about election or not, Trump or not. We have to like, why McDonald's is a very good company? Ask me why.
Why?
Thank you.
I thought because people like bad hamburgers. No, I'm kidding.
No, but because it doesn't matter who is conducting the business in McDonald's. Are you with me, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter who's the president of McDonald's. They know exactly what everybody is doing at McDonald's. There is no wasted 1 minute. There is a blueprints for every day, for everything, how, when it has to be cooked and what needs to be done. Country is the same thing. You cannot, the president, his executive branch, he needs to execute something, but he cannot come up with something and then execute. Everything has to be planned. That's a difference. That's why you cannot beat.
Okay, but the problem is that we can't plan from 1 minute to the next.
Exactly.
Because with Trump, every plan changes from 1 minute to the next.
That's why. Hold on. That's why there are 3 months left, maybe more, until January, and you have to look. You don't look through the back view mirror anymore. You have to establish yourself. If you're Biden, you have to establish yourself and you have to go meet the people, you have to unite the country, you have to show by example. What would you do if you were the president? You don't
Let me
Okay.
let me ask you a question. This has been a debate. Do you think Biden should already introduce the people that he would like to have in his cabinet early or at the last minute? I think that if he does it now, of course it would be nice to know, but I think if he did it now, then that gives the Trump team, 3 extra months to try to destroy them also.
Okay, Jeffrey, again, you see what happens, you talking about people.
People that run
right,
the country.
Right, people, Stalin says people decide everything. But point, you have to talk big, you have to show big picture, and then when you have to present a business plan for the country, how you're gonna do it, and you say like, listen, let's say green energy, and I have a great idea about green energy, and I have a person for green energy execution, this guy. I have a great idea about how to solve pandemic. This is the plan how to solve pandemic. This is the person who will do it.
I agree with you, but in terms of what you have to do is decide in terms of the people in the country, in the order of what they want done first and as quickly as possible. What's it going to be? I think number one today, got to solve the pandemic.
Yeah.
Number two, you got to get the kids back in school one way or the other, because that will make sure that the pandemic either
That's what Trump is trying to do.
Huh? Yeah, but the only thing is he has no plan to do it properly.
Yeah, it's exactly so. So the point is this: you asked me what he should do it. He shouldn't present people just because they're people. He has to show the plan, big picture, and then show his vision who can better execute those portions in his big picture. He cannot talk small. If he talks small with Trump, he's gonna lose because it's debatable. Is it good? Is it bad? Blah blah blah. But if you go big, this is my plan. This
okay,
is
that I agree with. Sounds very good.
Thank you. Wow.
The question is timing, because right now I think that my own opinion is, and this is what everybody is saying, that even Marr says the same thing. The best thing that Biden can do is just sit back. The time hasn't come. The time hasn't come to come out blasting. The first thing to do, let Trump do a little bit more damage to himself.
Okay. Trump is doing damage 3.5 years. His rating is almost the same rating, and nothing will destroy Trump. If like all that what we found out about Trump didn't destroy the guy, what it doesn't destroy you makes you stronger. I didn't say that, but it's not me. So I'm thinking that Biden must do damage now. He has to show big picture. He has to present him as a leader. Sitting in the bunker and waiting until the good punching moment, it will not work for Biden, because Biden, he's not a talker. He's kind of there, and so he needs to become. He has to get out, present the big picture, show who will be responsible on the big picture, and make sure that this big picture is defendable, so he can defend. This is how he's going to unite people, how he's going to make people who vote for Trump better off. He has to show why Trump is ineffective for those people who voted for Trump. Tariffs. He has to talk about tariffs that which destroy the country, destroy the relationship. Okay.
Okay, so that sounds great. So, again, our ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's following us now, and I hope you'll recommend our
conversational geeks,
our little blog called Conversing, our little waxing insubstantially to as many people as you can. Send this around to many people, and In the meantime, Mr. Marr, I'm a big fan of yours, and I believe in you, and I think that you would be really fascinated to talk with Sasha.
And that would
Maybe to talk with me also. I'll keep us all laughing, that's for sure. In the meantime, I hope you'll get a chance to read The Purple Vision.
Yeah.
We're going to find some way to get this book to you. And in the meantime, Sasha, this has been great as always. And
Thank you.
now we have to decide whether we're going to take this stupid boat out from the dock and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I hope we'll have this up within the next 2 days, and you'll be able to read about it and give us your comments about it. If anybody has some ideas of what you think should be done, or things that we could also talk about and debate about, we are anxious to hear this.
Yes.
In the meantime, I can't think of a more knowledgeable person than Sasha, and I can't think of a nicer person than me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.